Hey man, what's going on, man? This is hashtag the group chat. It's the, I can't even say the weekly live stream of the Culture and Conversations podcast. It's the sometimey stream of the Culture and Conversations podcast. Man, we are into the final episodes of the show, man. And I got some supporters. I got one of the dots here with me. Shout out to Glow. What's going on, Glow?
Hey.
Hey, I got the homie, the OG. The reason why I'm in technology doing this stuff for free for the church. My homie Brian, man. What's going on with you, fam?
What's happening? Good to be here.
Yeah, man. Let me make sure we turn this down a little bit because stuff be kind of taking over on the stream. Hey, man, y'all remember what we need y'all to do. Y'all hit that share button, man. Facebook ain't gonna let nobody see it, but y'all go ahead and hit the share button for us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Make me feel like it's possible. I gotta get myself going here. I'm already getting messages. We here, y'all. We here.
Now, Jay, is it streaming inside the group or are you streaming off your page?
It's off the page. I'm about to share it to my timeline.
All right.
So, hey, man, we appreciate y'all tuning in this evening, man. Y'all know what we need y'all to do. Hit that share button, man. Don't make me ask more than once. If you tuned in, that's consent. If you tuned in, that's consent. Hit that share button, man. Hey, and let me just say this. I was nice to y'all last night, all y'all new coming podcasters. I got to remind y'all, I'm the OG. Let's go. Nah, man, that's fake. You know, you got to have a little fake competitiveness, man. I'm retiring. Y'all can have it. I want to support everybody who wants the podcast. Y'all got it now. Y'all got the streets. You got the juice now.
You're gonna make yourself available for the podcast circuit.
Look, I know, right? Then that's what you do. You retire and you start going on other people's shows. That's it. That's the plan. I get to just go and scratch that itch, talking crazy on other people's stuff.
No consequences. Fewer consequences.
Yeah. All right, got to share it to the group now. All right, so yeah, when this ends, what we'll do is we'll come back, and when the call ends, then we'll just restart the call. So, hey man, we see y'all tuning in slowly but surely, man. Hey man, y'all say hello in the chat, man. You know what I'm saying? We got co-hosts and everything tonight, man. Y'all come on through, man. We got all kind of disrespectful hot takes. Not really, but maybe. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no blue cup, but I got this big silver tumbler.
What's in the silver tumbler, Jay?
Let's see here.
Brian, just one, two.
Yeah, man. Look, it's just a little bit of water in here tonight. That's it. That's it, man. Hey, man. Let me clap it up for everybody, man. This is hashtag the group chat, the weekly live stream of the Culture and Conversations podcast. I can't, I say that because that's just habit, but man, it's been a while. I know. I'm Jameson. Up in the corner is Glow, and up in the other corner is Brian. Hey man, how y'all doing this evening?
Chilling. Long day. Did y'all go to work today? Everybody work? Here we are at 9. What time is it? 9:45.
I got
Very
real
long day.
Look, it's been crazy. We ain't gonna be here all night either. I promised one of my supporters that we wouldn't do this too long tonight. So. And so we gonna get in and get out. So, for people who don't know, the podcast Culture and Conversations, y'all bear with me and do a little housekeeping. It's coming to an end, and so after 5 long years, I am retiring from podcasting, at least in the way that people have known me to podcast, and so it's weird because I never thought that people would care that much. The people that I reached, I never thought they would care that much. But, I knew something was happening when people started saying, hey, we need to have more shows and more live streams and all this stuff. And so welcome to hashtag the group chat. it was a throwaway concept. It was a concept that was supposed to just be an advertisement for the audio podcast. And then I guess when I started drinking enough alcohol and saying crazier stuff, people seem to fall in love with it. So yeah, man. So this is one of the final episodes. Probably 2 more episodes after this. Maybe a fourth episode after this. But we're definitely heading to the final stretch. These are the last episodes, man. So y'all, yeah. I guess I get us started. Do I want to start with the Tiger Woods thing, or let's go ahead and get the people the KeKe Palmer conversation?
Okay.
And because I think that's more salacious and it'll get people's palate wet for the kind of conversation we need to have. So, so just full disclosure, I'm in a relationship. Glo's married, and Brian is also married, and so we've got the full gambit of different perspectives here, and we want to hear from y'all this evening. So if y'all have opinions, make sure you put them in the chat. Say something in the chat. We want y'all to tune in to chime in. So the whole thing, and I'm gonna just try to recap, and I'm not an aficionado because I don't care that much about people getting their heart broken over the internet. I just don't care. But KeKe Palmer, who is a beloved young up and coming entertainer in Hollywood. She's been associated with a lot.
Let me say, she's not up and coming. We got to hold up because I do like KeKe. KeKe's been in the game for a long time. She's real deal.
Okay,
she's established.
On Broadway, we've done movies, we sing. We do a lot.
She's done spelling bees.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just saying she's not like she's not Angela Bassett yet. That's all I'm saying, right?
She's not, but she's 20. She's 20 years in the game. Like,
I'm not saying. See, this is why I'm retiring. I'm not saying she's real not. Deal. I'm not saying she's like
movies. She's 20. She's.
Oh, we got somebody. Yeah. Well, I'm not saying she's D-list. I'm just saying she's still progressing in her career. She's had some success. She's having success. And I just was saying she's up and coming in the sense of, she's gonna one day be one of those, fingers crossed, one of those black matriarchs in Hollywood. That's all I'm saying. So that's what I'm doing.
Something else, but I'm gonna let you rock. We'll talk about that later. Go ahead, Jameson.
Goodness. So off the introduction, like just framing it. So yeah, KeKe Palmer, she got a hive here, y'all. And KeKe recently had a child, and she was on television showing her baby bump and talking about how clear her skin got because she got pregnant. And the guy that she had this baby with, allegedly, we don't know, haven't seen a DNA test, but we're gonna assume this is her baby father. They have this little entanglement. I don't know if I can even call it a romance, but it's been presented as a relationship in circles. And so I'm just trying to hedge all my bets, Glo. That's all I'm trying to do. Okay. And so in this case, we're going to presume they're together or were together, and this relationship blew up and became conversation for social media. Because KeKe went out to see Usher, the Usher residency out in Las Vegas, which I hear is amazing for all the people who went out there to see it. And there's a very famous clip on the internet floating around now of her dancing on stage with Usher as Usher pulls women out of the crowd and onto the stage. And there was a comment mentioned by her baby's father, right, after seeing the clip, and something to the effect of, I'll just say it, paraphrase it because I don't care enough to get it right. You can't be dressed like that and be a mother of a child, right? And for people who don't know, KeKe was wearing a sheer dress that had her cheeks out in the back, and she decided to do a little twirl and pirouette so that Usher could see said cheeks from the back. And so it started quite the fodder on the internet because, of course, you know how everybody, anything that's any way related to the gender war, it just starts this dialogue. So
absolutely, it's gonna catch on fire.
So before we get to the next piece of the saga with KeKe, how do we feel about going KeKe going to the Usher residency, wearing that dress, and you know, KeKeing with Usher. How do we feel about that?
I'm gonna let Brian jump in. I will let the gentlemen speak their piece first.
So I start, and I think what we're doing is we're misplacing the blame. Okay. It's not KeKe's fault. We need to identify Usher as what he is. He's a relationship terrorist. Usher is bent on destroying relationships one concert at a time.
Okay.
I think that deserves.
And so, KeKe came out in nothing more than what you might see in Miami, the Bahamas.
Okay.
Her outfit wasn't the issue. The issue was this relationship terrorist decides to go grab women who are in relationships and attempts to steal them. And that is the problem. We need to place the blame on the right person.
So we're saying this is Usher's fault. This is Usher baby's fault.
This is 100% Usher's fault.
I'll ask you this.
I have not.
Go ahead, Gloria.
Heard that take as much.
I haven't heard many people blame Usher at all. So this is very interesting. Let me ask you this, Brian. In a hypothetical marriage that you would hypothetically be a part of, would you be okay with your wife out there in Las Vegas with her cheeks out, you know, or scantily clad cheeks, dancing and pirouetting with Usher on stage? How would you feel about that in a hypothetical relationship?
I would feel like we would have a conversation about Usher in advance. As a matter of fact, my wife is going to Vegas to go see the Usher concert. Whoa! And we're going to make sure that we have a discussion about that relationship terrorist. I'm going to keep using that term because we're going to change the narrative here.
Okay.
That even if it, because look, who was it? Sweetie and then another young lady, they were both dressed similarly, but they did the right thing. When he approached to come destroy their relationship, they pulled their hands away. I'm just saying, we're going to keep this blame exactly where it belongs.
Okay.
So you're saying that they could have got on stage, but they chose not to. Okay. Gloria,
yes, they saw what he was going for.
They saw what he was going for. Gloria, how do you feel about this Usher Raymond terrorizing these people's relationship, in particular KeKe Palmer and her relationship with her? I don't know what to call this brother, but yeah, the guy that she was allegedly with.
So I think we should say that at least portrayed themselves as being in a committed monogamous relationship. They're not married. That is how they presented themselves. Okay, so I will say that we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I got the impression that she very much enjoyed being with him. She feels like he's a good father. All of that, great. I think where it went left, because here's the thing though, Brian, like Usher's not the one in the relationship. And so as you said, like the other young ladies, like they knew what was up, right? Like he comes to try to do whatever. They're like, yeah.
So we're about to blame black women. No, what, boy? Hashtag protect black women.
Maybe. Because I'm like, okay. Also with this, it went left because he went public with his viewpoints instead of having a conversation with her. He went to Twitter. You never go to social media. It's a pride thing. How many people does KeKe have following her? Like 1 million something people on Twitter.
It's a lot. And then also on Instagram, she's got a huge following too. Yeah,
he might as well. What he did was the equivalent of taking a big tree branch and going to a hive and beating it. Because everyone swarmed him. They basically ran him off the internet or whatever for saying something where I kind of feel like he was sort of making points because, and not because of how she was dressed, but I think the sting came from him feeling embarrassed that she was dancing like that, even in jest, with someone like an Usher. I think that I don't know. And so I think Sweetie, to your point, Brian, and some of the other ladies, they knew what was going to be. You can't go up there like that and not, have something be said when you get home. So I don't know. That's my take on it. He shouldn't have gone public. If he wanted to say something cool, he kind of caused all the backlash. Mm-hmm. And KeKe got her get back, right? Like right after that, what'd she do? Put out some t-shirts or something like that?
Yeah. And
we gotta mosey into this new music video. We gotta get there quickly.
Yeah, we gonna get there. my whole take on it, and I shared it on my timeline back when it happened, because I wasn't podcasting in these streets back then. I was on hiatus, and so I just said that, you know, there was nothing wrong with what she did. Now this was my take at the time. There was nothing wrong with what she did.
Okay.
But she did put a little sauce on it. That's all I'm saying. You know, she put a little sauce. She put a little sauce on it. The little spin around, you know, you know, you got your cheeks showing, you know, that's a little sauce. You know, that's a little sauce. And it's Usher, and, you know, y'all up there. The most disrespectful part of that, in my opinion, wasn't the little pirouette with the cheeks out. It was when they almost kissed each other on the lips at the end of their little dance thing, where she was like looking him in the eye, like she had made all this like. And then he was looking her in the eye with the microphone, like, you know, like, yeah. And then all of a sudden they kind of did a little awkward. Oh, let me put my head to the side and hug, versus let me, you know. So it looked a little weird. Now, I don't know if that was just coincidental and the awkwardness of two ships passing, you know, that kind of thing. Like, you know how you walking down a grocery store aisle and one person goes left and you go left. I don't know if that was that. But it looked a little bit. It looked like, hey, if they didn't have all these cameras on them, they would have kissed each other on the lips. Yeah.
Okay. You think so, for real?
I'm just saying.
Here's my question.
You know,
would we feel the same way if it was Keith Sweat or Genuine?
That's a valid question.
No, I don't think so.
I'm telling you, it's Usher. Yeah. It's the fact that it's Usher.
Right. I agree with you. It's because it is Usher. And that's why the internet was kind of tearing him up, because the other part that I thought Jameson was going to touch on, and I feel like he didn't touch on it because it is a little controversial.
Oh, I don't care. These are the last episodes. Hey, what's going on, Mocha? How you doing, fam?
KeKe has the money. Baby's father does not have the money and the power.
Yes.
And that she was dealing at that point with not someone I would say is a peer. Usher is obviously an icon, been in the business forever, et cetera, et cetera. But certainly someone who some people in the industry and out in the Twitter streets and social media streets would feel she's more suited. Like, that's more in alignment with who she should be with, and not this other person. Because what were they calling him? They were saying that not breadwinner, but what were they called? Bread loser. I was like, that was so rude. Wait. Ah, man, it was so sad. The bread loser conversation. I said, see, this is y'all are cruel.
And I mean, as we kind of progress the conversation a little bit, to your point, Gloria, that's a good point. And to your point also, Brian, one of the things that we've seen happen, we've seen this happen before. If you're and I hate to say this word, let's say if you're an ugly guy and you're with this gorgeous woman, there's a perception, you know, disparity there in terms of social value, right? That word that we've thrown out before. So it's like, okay, well, you hear things like, oh, he outkicked his coverage, you know, or, you know, she must be, I don't know why she with him. He must, you know, people start trying to rationalize, like, how did this socially awkward guy, or this guy who doesn't have the same social value that you would think this beautiful woman has, how did he end up with her, right? It must be the money. It could be a number of things, right? And so for this guy in this situation, KeKe Palmer's boyfriend or ex-boyfriend now, he's in that awkward, unenviable position where everybody feels like he's with somebody who is quote unquote too good for him, right? And so that's why people gravitated and just like swung over to her side, because it looked like, once again, one of those moments where, hey, some insecurity manifested itself and flared up. This guy's he's feeling awkward. He's feeling like, hey, I'm not Usher, and you know, and I'm gonna say this because I want to get the conversation ignited tonight too. Exactly. I always get these names horrible, but Miss Caraballo, yes, you're exactly right. Or he has a good personality. That's how people rationalize it. And I'm gonna say this: the reason people supported KeKe Palmer so hard is because women fantasize about leaving their man for somebody better. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There's so many.
Thank you for helping me with my point,
bruh. I'm just saying, there's so many women. Look, and dudes, we know because we're sitting there like, you know what, man, that's Usher, man. Like, you can be mad and hurt, but it's just like, man, that's Usher. You know what I'm saying? Like if my girl walked in, and
he might be able to scoop her up. Like, he might be able to walk away with.
You low key would understand. Like, you would be mad as a man trying to put up a front, but you would low key understand. You'd be like, you know what, damn, that's Usher.
Oh,
like she left me for Usher. Like,
have y'all ever been to a Maxwell concert?
I have, yeah, I have.
So you've heard Maxwell talk?
Yes,
on stage.
Yes.
I was in there, and then I listened to Maxwell talk, and I was like, I'm fine. There's no interest here. I'm good. Now you go to a Trey Songz concert, he telling you in his lead single what he about to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're right. I mean, it's the terrorist fault.
Yeah. Michelle, what's going on? I'm sorry about getting your name wrong. Thank you for helping me with that, Michelle. It's just different, right? Like if you, as a guy, we all know what it's like to lose the lady that we're interested in to somebody else. If you've ever had that experience, I can count on several hands that experience. But it's just like, you can understand. You'd be like, well, damn, that was Usher. Like she left me for Usher, and ain't nobody gonna feel sorry for you because when you tell your friends like what happened, like, man, you won't believe what she did, dog. Like, what she do, man? What she do? Was it Tyrone? Was it Pookie down at the Express lube place? Nah, man. Who was it? Man, it was Usher, man. Niggas be like, what? Usher? Well. Hey, bro.
There you go. They're gonna agree that, like, yeah, bro. Like,
you win some, you lose some. You win some, you lose some. Right. So that's why I think a lot of women sided with that. It wasn't just, we KeKe Palmer fans. It's like the idea of it, right? It's the Cinderella idea that, hey, I want the ability to leave my man one day for.
But there's also
somebody better.
I think the larger kind of gender wars that go on, and men need to stay out of women's business, and like she can dress the way that she wants. And he said something about. I think he used the word wife. I think so. In one of the posts, he used the word wife, but there were no wives in sight. And so he was like, in some women's minds, claiming ownership or claiming a relationship that did not exist between them.
That's a good point.
As it relates to the family. Because he was like, people getting mad because a man has a particular way that he wants his wife to present herself. Something like that. I don't know. To your point, I don't remember exactly, but the word wife was used.
And then people ran out saying, well, she ain't your wife.
Right. So that also kind of got him in trouble as well, because he kept trying to go back and forth and again was framing their relationship in a way that it was not accurate at the time. I don't know what plans again they had. Those plans are obviously over now. He has made his announcement. She has done this music video. There is no coming back from if I'm him, let me tell you what. I see that music video and I'm like, bet. Like, there's no way that we could even be civil, because and Jay and I kind of touched on this a little bit in like a separate conversation, but
for sure.
Imagine this, you have been terrorized online and it has died down. Okay, like we done forgot. We done had the Alabama brawl. A certain someone is getting indicted. We've had so much news.
A lot of things have happened since then.
So much news that have kind of helped us forget. It's like, yeah, that was wild that day. And then we've kind of moved on, right? We have a whole bunch of stuff. Yep. And while you thought it was over, and you're like, you're recovering mentally, socially, emotionally, she teases a video with Usher. You see the bit. She didn't have to be in that video. She's directly speaking to your situation. So she dug it back up. So now he's back in the news again. Like, we can't be friends. We can't be civil. We can't do anything.
I mean, it's a bop too.
It's a bop.
I don't think it's a bop, but I'm gonna let y'all. I'm outvoted. But I said Usher. I said KeKe cute. Usher is still obviously, quite attractive, and this is gonna get some traction because of the situation and drama surrounding it. But it is not a bop. That's what I said. Okay. I said that nearly exactly. I don't think it's a bop, but I'm gonna dance to it. I like it.
It is brilliant.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brian.
They couldn't have capitalized on it better. Yeah. It was completely brilliant, right time and everything.
So we got some comments over here. Michelle says, I heard he was toxic before this, so KeKe should have known. Okay. Now, Michelle, when you say you're talking about Usher, or you talking about her boyfriend or her ex now? Just to clarify, but I can believe either of those, right? Because he could be toxic and or Usher could be toxic. And Jesus says she belongs in that video. Well, she does. She's in there now.
She's in it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. You know, Usher told us, man, you make me want to leave the one I'm with and start a new relationship. He told us.
Listen, you can't, because here's the thing, the music video lives on forever. So now that man's child has to see. I mean, come on, like that kid is gonna be like 18 years old and see the time that mama like really went after daddy. She's in there 20 and they doing like a dance routine. It's like, come on, yo, like this is. Okay. You have to stomp on this man's grave, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, Michelle says she heard that her ex was toxic. You know, yeah. So, but
I did hear about that too. I heard that he was dating someone, and then the next thing she knew that KeKe was pregnant. Is that what you're talking about, Michelle? Because I think he kind of traded up a little bit. I'm not trying to be that person.
Look, it's the same conversation, right? We just had about Usher. It's like, okay. Yeah, exactly. She can be mad. She can be upset. Hey, I found out in a very janky way, but it's KeKe Palmer. Like you know, I'm just sorry. I mean, you know, let me just say this because I'm in a relationship. I have nobody that I would leave my current, you know, love for, you know, so, you know, I don't care if, I don't care who she is that came up. I can't even name names anymore because they don't matter.
There we go. Can't even name names. I couldn't name a name for you.
Couldn't even name a name. You know, I couldn't name a name. So
only has eyes for you.
Only eyes for you. I'm just saying, only eyes for you. And that's the way to keep it. You know, that's why. How do we feel? Go ahead, Brian.
I would say now, if I was him, and this got me in a little trouble in a discussion earlier today, after seeing the video come out and we decided we're no longer going to be together, at this point being the kind of the lower income person and a caring father who wants to build a stable home, stationary home for my child, I would definitely go after custody. Gotta go for custody. He got to go for custody and alimony. Not alimony, custody and child support. He got to do it.
See, and that's what's gonna make people really mad if he gets child support.
Oh yeah.
And see this,
but he's gonna get it.
Yeah. And this is why you got to be careful about adding logs to the fire, because things are already going to be emotionally involved. So if you want to add logs to the fire, then go ahead, but don't get upset when you see me in court and I'm over there talking about how I need, you know, $10,000 a month to support these children, you know, to support this child that we had together. Like I said, I'm gonna stir the pot a little bit tonight, so y'all bear with me. I know y'all didn't sign up for too much pot stirring, but we're gonna stir the pot a little bit. I think part of what we got to talk about too in this dynamic before we get to if we get off of KeKe and Usher and her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend now, is that there's a growing trend among women of a certain generation who are basically, you know, having we got 15 minutes here for our call drop. So what we're gonna do, y'all, when the call drops, we'll pop back in and we'll start another call. So y'all bear with us. But yeah, we're doing this with free stuff tonight, man, because once again, ain't no money in podcasting, which is another reason why I'm retiring. So so y'all want video streams that don't end. No, we done with that. I think we got to be honest about how women are feeling empowered to have children and not necessarily have relationships. And I'm not talking about the old school, I got a baby and I thought this guy was somebody who wanted to be with me. Now, women are like, you know what? I want your sperm. If we can work it out, it's cool, but I don't need you. And therefore, deuces. And I think some of that is playing into this dynamic as well, because look, I've seen it.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think that is as widespread?
It's widespread enough where
as maybe you're presenting it, you really think that
it is widespread enough where I can name names of people on my timeline right now who did that. And I won't do it because I'm not that messy of a podcaster. But all I'm saying is I've observed this phenomenon where women are having babies and they don't care if the relationship works out, because now they can say, hey, one thing I'm not a childless woman. So they want to have children. They didn't want to have to face the overhead of the relationship. And I think KeKe is very much displaying what a liberated woman looks like in 2023. I think she is. Okay. I'm just saying. And the thing is, I support women doing whatever they want to do with their bodies and their DNA and all that stuff. I'm not shaming nobody. I'm just saying this is a trend. And I think that when you have women who have that kind of wealth,
Is it a trend because it's on your Facebook newsfeed though?
Look, if I see multiple people doing it, and I understand, because the thing is, we gotta be honest. And I don't want to get too deep on that stuff, but in this conversation, it's hard if you talk about doing traditional marriage and traditional family. Hey, I gotta meet somebody. I gotta fall in love. He's got to check all the boxes. I got to check all his boxes. We got to then get married and have the compatibility in a relationship to get married. Then we have the family. A lot of women aren't able to achieve that in their own way. The filters or whatever, their dating pool, whatever. But what they can do is bust it open one night and receive that nectar, and then in 9 months they got a baby, right? Because
it's not far fetched.
Look, man.
Brian.
I mean, no. Listen. So look at it this way: if you have, in general, Black women specifically are growing more in corporate America. They're making more money. So you have a successful middle management to senior leadership person who's approaching their 40s.
Okay.
Mid six figures. They're making over 150,000.
Okay.
House, car. They got all that settled. The only thing that they're missing that they wanted is the baby.
Exactly.
And if we still continue with traditional approaches to relationship, traditionally the women should marry somebody that makes more than them. But as you go up that totem pole, it's not many people up there. So you can get what you want. So if you decide that you want to have a child and you can afford to handle daycare, have a nanny, if you have enough, but if you have enough money to do it, then what limits a woman from doing it?
Exactly. And then you got to add in the social value conversation too. She's KeKe Palmer. She's famous, so right. There's a number of things that she might not want to have to deal with. And then too, because, and this, I'm gonna just say this, and this is gonna sound horrible. It's easier to deal with somebody who has less than you in certain contexts because you have the advantage. And I think that's part of what we got to talk about with KeKe. The same rationale we would use if you had a powerful man in that position of social privilege and dominance. In this case, he would be leveraging all of that to get the outcome that he wants. And I think KeKe's doing the exact same thing, which is why it's fascinating that so many people are so cool with that, because they would hate that if it was men doing the same thing. And so, yeah.
Oh, and I want to shout out Kimberly, because she's really speaking truth, because I want to rewind back to what Brian was talking about with women who are, possibly, pushing into 40, making, $150K a year. Let's just look at the percentage of people in the U.S. period that make that, and then break it down and say, okay, how many Black women is that? I mean, we're talking about a pretty small percentage. Fact of the matter is, and Jameson will hear me beat this drum. He's probably sick of it, but
it's all good. We're good.
I can tell you that, like, the median household income for Black households in the United States is, it's like $45,000. Like, that's a household. I think that a lot of times we have these conversations, we're outliers, and we're like, yeah, 45,000. But either way, to Kimberly's point in here, though, no, women still want a partner. They don't mind having a partner who doesn't make as much as she does. That is true. I see that all over the place.
Is this KeKe Palmer? Is this KeKe Palmer doing this though? Are we cool? I'm just saying, like, we can't.
Well, hold on, because what wavelength are we on? Because the 150K woman is not KeKe Palmer.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
There's a massive difference. So, but I know KeKe is. I know the power dynamic. I know what you're talking about, like the KeKe thing. But we did bring it back to normies, regular folk, and not so much because that's making a lot more than a lot of people make. But there are a lot of women who have no problem. There are, y'all. I know that there
are some. There definitely are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that women who make more and want families the traditional way don't exist. I'm not saying they don't exist. All I'm saying is that as I've looked at the last 10 years of my life, and people in my social circle who I couldn't name names, but I'm not talking their business on my podcast because, one, I don't know their business like that other than what I see and they share with me on their timeline.
Right.
There's some things you could point to and say, hey, this seems to be a trend among professional women who would like to be mothers, but yet and still they haven't found necessarily that long, sustainable relationship yet. And so what they do is they roll the dice. They say, well, at least I can be a mother if I can't be a mother and a wife, or a mother and in a committed long-term relationship. And I think you got to be, I think we have to pay attention to that trend, at least what I've observed as a micro trend in my space, because I think it all is part of the dynamic here. And I think that's why, once again, so many women ran up on the timeline and jumped out there and felt empowered to bash this guy. So y'all, what we want to do here, I'm going to read this. I'm going to stop this call so that we don't just get bumped. Start the call back and send you guys the chat link. And then I'm going to interact and read these comments here on the side. And then you guys give us 5 minutes, or I'm going to bring our guests right back. So I'm going to read through these comments and interact with y'all a little bit. And then we're going to bring our guests back once we start this free phone call again for the second time. Y'all bear with us. So yeah, man, I'm going to switch over here to me. There we go. Y'all can see me. Hey, there we go. And yeah, man, so let me read some of these comments here that we've got. So we've got some comments here from MCP Cable on YouTube. They're saying, yeah, I said something similar to that effect, that the whole baby mama / daddy relationship with nothing going forward isn't constructive. Kimberly, yes, we read your comment. I think we've already got it. They don't know what this life is like. It's hard as hell out here to raise kids, even with a dedicated partner. I don't think people understand that, how hard it is to do this, man. People think that it's just super simple to basically raise kids, but hey, people are gonna have to find it out for themselves. I'm not here to judge anybody who's making their decision. I'm just saying it's part of the narrative here when we talk about KeKe Palmer. And so, man, if y'all are brave and messy, y'all go ahead and post in the comments, who are y'all leaving your significant other for? What celebrity are y'all out the game with? If you know what I'm saying, if you are in a position here with to do the same thing KeKe Palmer apparently has done, entertain the company of other people. Like, who would y'all be out here doing? Like I said, I'm madly in love, but yeah, man, I want to hear from y'all. If you got any other comments, let me know too, because I'm trying to get you guys comments in here while we're switching it out. Let's see here. Another comment from Miss Kimberly. That's bad for the baby, in my opinion. Children need a two-parent household, but a lot of people don't feel that way anymore. A lot of people feel like I can do bad all by myself, and this goes back to the pathology, unfortunately, where people have seen their mothers and struggle raising children by themselves because they were raised by themselves, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's one of those things where I think a lot of people are cool with the idea because of what they've seen in their own life growing up. And I'm not, once again, I'm not here to judge people. But if I were in my Sunday school class, I would discourage that. I would tell people, hey, that's probably not the path to success of having a family, the kind of family that you want and raising the kind of children that you want. But people do what they got to do for their situations. I don't got anything to say about it. But that's the whole story with that. So, yeah, let's see here. They pop back in here now. I've sent them the new link. We had to restart this call because the call only runs for an hour. So we had to start the call back. Sounds like we got some people popping in. Brian, what's going on, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Cool, man. Cool. Let me switch us back over here to us and the guests. There we go. And we'll wait for her. There she is. She popped back in. So yeah, because they don't want me having to fill all that air by myself. So yeah, let me read some more of these comments here, man, from you guys. Man, thank y'all for tuning in tonight, man. The final episodes of Culture and Conversations presents # the group chat. This is really one of those things, man. KB, what's going on, fam? Let's see here. KB said he gone. Yeah, KB said he is gone if Maya or Melissa Ford is willing to say hello and pirouette on the stage with him. So he said he is out, and no comment. No comment. Those might be two good names. If my eyes weren't so fixed on my current relationship, those might be two excellent names. As we kind of begin to wrap this conversation up here with the KeKe Palmer thing, we got to talk about the video. Like, what do you think the long-term fallout of that's going to be? I think you mentioned it, Gloria, about raising kids with this guy. Like, how are you gonna like explain that to your children when they get old enough, because this stuff's gonna be out there forever. When you're like, hey, let me show you what your mama used to was out here doing, you know. And what do you think the long-term implication for their now co-parenting relationship and their children and all this stuff is gonna come from that video?
I think he might be a little salty, but the one thing I am happy that KeKe did was it wasn't a racy video. So it was her dressed like Usher dancing around. So it's not as bad. Like it's not like the Kim Kardashian scenario or some of the other ones where, you know, he may be a little angry, but I don't think you get too embarrassed as a kid because your mom wasn't doing anything crazy in the video. She wasn't running around in negligee or, you know, she was fully clothed. And then she made the joke at the end to tie the needle in a little more. I think he's gonna be more angry than the kids will.
Okay, I think he's gonna be. I got you. He's gonna be more upset. I can totally see that. Go ahead, Glenn.
I can see that. It's just, I think it says something, right? Again, I have to bring up the fact that this was mostly a dead situation and she resurrected it. And there's just something, and I did use the word yesterday. I used the word, there's something nasty about it. Like it's punching down, it's bringing the hive back to make jokes. And it's like people laughing and pointing at him again. And it's like, and I don't know, I would feel real salty if I was him. So it would take me a long time to get over it. I'm sure I would, but you know, it's like you tried it. You got your little merch out, you resurrected it, did a whole music video that anybody can pop on YouTube and see, go over to Vivo and see it. And I'm like,
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna hear people playing that song too. That's another thing. Like, it's gonna hit different when you walk.
Like in spite, like just to tease you, like just drop the link on your timeline or just like turn it up when you walk by. You know, it's like, come on.
Wait till they do a TikTok.
To punch him, you know, and it's like, and I don't know.
Yeah, Michelle says a little salty. That's a whole container of salt. We apparently some people in here snitching. They telling about who their spouses or significant others would leave them for. Teresa Michelle says, my husband dipping for Jasmine Sullivan. I'm glad you know your king. Oh my goodness. Brian, apparently Jill Scott is your ticket out of here, sir.
Fake news.
Fake news.
I am quite happy. I only have eyes for one person.
Look, man, you better affirm your queen, man. Affirm thy queen. You know, look, I'm over here just being messy, man. If y'all got somebody who y'all gonna leave your partner for, you know what I'm saying? It's a safe space. We ain't gonna tell nobody except for everybody who's watching. I ain't gonna send the link to nobody. You know, nobody else. That's
right. We just shared it out on the timeline, just that
randomly, just spamming the timeline right now. Let's see here. Another comment from YouTube from MCP Cable. I imagine the kids are gonna get ridiculed by their peers. This is a can of worms that will reopen. I think so. You know, I see that's a whole other topic. Another reason I'm retiring. In this age of everything is content, like I could not imagine being a kid right now. Like, I'll play nice. Your dad is on OnlyFans. I don't even know how to handle that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's ridiculous. Like, I know the stuff that we said.
The dad, not the mom. I love it.
Look, I try to be nice, because your mama ain't really on OnlyFans. She on OnlyFans with her scantily clad pictures, selling that you got to then reach out to her in her DMs to buy her real content.
Wait, this feels like, I don't know. This feels like this coming from a place of knowledge. I don't know. Like,
I look, you see, I'm quiet. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm learning something new.
I've never experienced this. I don't know what's going on.
Don't encourage the things I shouldn't know. Yo, you want to see my real pics?
Oh no.
DM me for more information. So I'm just saying, I know the things we said
about it. He didn't do it. That he didn't experience that himself. Somebody had told him one time.
Look, man, I'm not buying. I don't buy OnlyFans content. I'm sorry, I don't do that. That's just I'm not doing that.
You don't need it.
No, we're not doing that.
Yeah, good.
No, no, I'm not doing that. But just imagine, I'm just saying, kids in 2023, they got so much more material to work with. Yeah. I know the vicious stuff that we the stuff we used to say about each other and each other's parents, and we had no internet back then. Like, I'm just saying, imagine now, like, you know, that's why your mom only got two subscribers on her OnlyFans.
Right.
Like, the jokes would be horrible. What's going on, Chris? How you doing, fam? So yeah, man. Thoughts and prayers to KeKe Palmer and her ex-boyfriend now. I'll ask this last question about this because we head towards the home stretch here of the show tonight. How do we feel about like his dating prospects? If you are somebody you think he's going to have trouble getting another girlfriend, given the fact that he was out here, checking his wife not his wife, but his baby mama for her attire and all this whole fiasco. Do you think people are going to be conscious of that as they pursue or consider pursuing him or dating him going forward in the future?
Absolutely not. I'll chime in. Absolutely not. He couldn't get that Instagram post off. That joint was in the little IG feed for like three seconds before someone was in his DM. As a matter of fact, that night when he was sparring on Twitter, he had women who were like, you know what? I wouldn't do you like that.
I wouldn't dress like that.
I don't respect you. Let me be your comforter. I will make it right.
I don't even like Usher like that.
Let's hop in.
Unfortunately, those women can't afford him.
Ooh.
He used to steak and shrimp.
Look,
caviar. What are they gonna do?
Hamburger helper. It's some spaghetti in there. Brian, question: KeKe Palmer, are you somebody, if you're in Hollywood and you see how she's handled this situation, this breakup, are you somebody who's going to be a little bit leery about pursuing her and talking to her? Or do you think that this is all just fun and games in 2023 and what celebrities do is all fun and games and all's fair in love and war and engagement on social media?
No, I don't think any person at her status would have hesitation.
No.
I think that they would still go forward. I think that they will see, because his real only mistake was posted on social media. Yeah. His thoughts weren't bad. It was that you put it out there to the world.
Yeah. I think that's what people.
So if you're somebody similar, you do it in the background, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
Yeah. No, man. I think that's a good point, because I thought the conversation was wild. People were just like, "Nah, man, you can't tell me what you can't tell her what to wear." I'm just kind of like, I don't know about telling. I don't even like the framing of that, like telling her what to wear. Like, or is he just saying, like, now, don't get me wrong, he was insecure, but hypothetically, if they had the conversation behind the scenes in the house, he ain't in a position to be able to just say, "Hey, you really want to wear that to the Vegas show?"
Jameson, don't you know that if you're not married, you're single?
Look, that's apparently the new the thing that's out here. Look, that's it. Look.
Oh, we going back to the toxic 2000s?
Look, the toxic 2023. Single until married. I should have broke up with that girl right then and there when she said that. Telling me I'm single until married. I was like, I bet you are single until you married.
That's hilarious.
How you? Let me hush.
I knew that would get you stirred up a little bit.
We are healed. We are healed in 2023. That's another reason we're retiring. I ain't got no more toxic content to give y'all, man. So, man, yeah, if y'all got any other thoughts about KeKe Palmer, and then put them in the comments. We're going to circle back to them. We're about to transition to our last topic for the night. We ain't doing any super long live streams, man. We got jobs. We done aged. We done got some time on us, man. No, 5 years ago made a difference. So I could go for, 3 hours on here drinking water and God knows whatever else. And no, we ain't doing that no more.
That's right.
Brian, one of the things that me and Gloria got into a deep philosophical life conversation about was we were talking about Tiger Woods and his son, Charlie Woods. And for people who are listening, I know y'all probably like, what's all going on this? And we don't follow golf like that. But you don't have to for this conversation. 'Cause I think it's an important conversation, especially if you got kids and, it's just an interesting conversation. So we know Tiger Woods is arguably the greatest golfer ever and definitely the greatest golfer of this generation.
Absolutely.
And it appears that his son Charlie has an interest in golf. He's showing up on the golf course, wearing the same color scheme his father wears, the red shirt, red polos, and the black khakis. They look very similar. Charlie looks like he's been working out, his back getting wide, and he looks. I'm serious. He looks like he's going through that same Tiger Woods, growth spurt or whatever. And we were talking, and this conversation actually came up when I was talking with my girlfriend about it. And we were, she was saying that because she really inspired this conversation. She said, isn't it interesting how different Tiger Woods' approach to raising his son is compared to what Earl Woods, as more of a militant, heavy-handed disciplinarian, did with Tiger. And I stopped eating whatever exquisite meal I had cooked for the both of us, because I'm a progressive man. I cook for my lady. Amen. And so progressive man, I cook for my lady and clean up the dishes if she don't feel like it. And so when she said that, I stopped eating and drinking, and I said, I don't think Tiger's any different than his father.
That's what I was going to say.
I think it's just a public veneer that they have intentionally put on the relationship to roll out Charlie's career while Charlie is developing into this monster golfer who could very much inherit every genetic trait that made Tiger Woods an amazing golfer. And so I think that publicly it's a very gentle, fatherly, kind of just hanging out with the son on the golf course relationship. But I think that Tiger Woods is a killer when it comes to golf. And I think that he is teaching Charlie behind the scenes how to be a killer in golf. And the fact that Charlie is as good as he is right now in golf indicates to me, and I think if I'm not speaking for glory, but also based on us having reached agreement on this, I think Charlie is experiencing that same, for lack of a better word, that same Spartan refinement that Tiger underwent as well when Earl raised Tiger to become the greatest golfer in the world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think there's one small difference. I think you're exactly right. The one small difference, and I think it's the same for LeBron James and his sons. Mm-hmm. The one small difference is that the father is already great, and they're continuing to work to greatness in parallel with the sons. So to your point, they're still going to push him hard, but their sons are going to see them working just as hard as they're pushing them.
Yeah, and I think
so. It's one thing to tell you to do 50 push-ups, but if I'm gonna jump down and do 50, and I'm telling you to do 50 with me, I'm still pushing you, but you see I'm in it with you.
Yeah, it is different, right? Like I think the one thing that that Charlie Woods has that Tiger Woods did not have is that Charlie Woods has Tiger Woods as his father.
Right.
Like wasn't it you, Gloria, made the point about the hole-in-ones? Tell us about the anecdote about Tiger and all those holes in one.
Yeah. So when Jameson and I were having this conversation, something had come up that I was just like jokingly said that even when Charlie Woods gets a hole-in-one or 2 or 3, in Tiger's professional career, he had 20 hole-in-ones. Like, you feel me? Like, it's like, yo, like, that's great. Now, dude, you got 1. Now you have to get 20 more to be better than me.
Yeah,
in this particular piece. And so that's just remarkable. So to your point, it's like, yeah, that's the difference. Like you're my son and I'm Tiger Woods, like the best golfer of the generation. And to tag on a little bit to what Brian said, the other thing that is a little bit different is, unlike Tiger's father, Tiger understands the pressure of all eyes being on him as well. Bingo. So I think publicly, I think there's a level of empathy there, but there is no way, like we were looking at clips and like they're saying that in some ways Charlie is better than Tiger was at his age. Mm-hmm. So there's like no way that Tiger is not setting expectations very highly for this kid. Because he has the benefit of all the things that you would want if you want to be an awesome golfer, right? He has Tiger as his dad, the full network, the access to the money and the training and everything that it would take to cultivate any natural ability you have. But that's still, if you're gonna be better than me, if you're gonna be my kid, you know what I'm saying? Like there's another level, there's another kind of like echelon you need to meet. And I don't think that you get there, because this was the other piece too. I don't think you get there by being tender and kind. Ooh. Right? So I think that wait.
Here's the piece. Here's the piece where this is where everybody can chime back in.
I think he is having to lay into him a little bit, but I do think that that's during practice. right? That's when we're getting ready for it. But like understanding the pressure of being in competition and doing that to somebody, I think he understands what that is and that he may lay off a little bit, but
and I'm
giving it to Charlie behind the scenes for real.
And I'm gonna say something deep or deeper. At least I think it's deep. I think Charlie wants that punishment. That discipline, that structure, that I hate to say punishment.
About discipline.
Yeah, I don't want to say punishment, but I think Charlie wants that discipline because he wants to be great. I think he wants to be great at golf. Like you have to be as a kid. I'll put it this way. I'll use my example with my father. My father was a carpenter. Mm-hmm. He could do it. He could really put wood together and build things. I saw that in him. I always admired that about him. I always respected that about him. Loved that about him. Like he could just build stuff, and I thought that was like the coolest thing. But I didn't have that in me to try to approach what he was doing because he was so serious about it. Like it was intimidating how serious he was about his trade. And so for me, I went and did software engineering, which in my own right I build things, even though they're abstract, they're not as tangible. But my father was fanatical about doing things the right way as a carpenter. And as a child, I was like, I don't really want to be a part of that. It was hard work, and he just was not. He was not kind and cuddly. If I told my father when I was 10 or 11 that I wanted to be a carpenter when I grew up, I want to do the same thing that he did when I grow up, then he would have put me through hell in order to make me as good as he was. And he would have never acknowledged, I'm talking about my father, I'm not talking about Tiger, but my father, he would have never acknowledged my ascent to his level until probably a few days before he died, right? Like he would have never done it. He would just been like, you did a pretty good job over there, boy. That's all right. It's looking okay. But he wouldn't he was not, because he was so serious and competitive about it. And so I think that Charlie, in order for Charlie to see his father's greatness, it takes a special kind of DNA in a kid to say, I want to try and do what that man did. Mm-hmm. This isn't, he won 2 majors or a few tournaments. He is the greatest living golfer right now in terms of accomplishments. I mean, I know Jack Nicklaus and all that stuff, but whatever. We ain't talking about that because Jack Nicklaus didn't have the whole field of competition to play against the Tiger has because anyway, I'm not gonna get into that diversity and inclusion, right? We know. Yeah, I'm gonna shave a few of the major wins off of Jack because he didn't have to play against people like Tiger Woods, right? So with that said, I think that's the interesting thing. So Brian, you and Gloria y'all both have children, and you don't have to get into this too deep, but if you want to share, you share it. So how do you see that in terms of crafting the path for your child? Is that something that you think should be a sort of flow where they kind of figure it out, or is it more like, hey, you're gonna go do this? Like, how do you see that journey, Brian, particularly with your children?
So yeah, I'm in it right now. I play tennis. Okay. And my family plays tennis, and we're very competitive at it.
Okay.
Tennis is available to my daughters if they choose it.
Okay.
I let them pick whatever sport, but I know that if they tell me that they want to play tennis, it's going to be different than if you tell me you want to do gymnastics. Mm-hmm. I don't know gymnastics like that. We can have fun. It's not that serious. If you say you want to play tennis, we're going to be out there.
We're going to play tennis.
I've tried it, and the attention span didn't last that long. I'm going to look like Serena Daddy. So I let them pick their sport, and I'm just waiting to figure out, like for me, I want to see, what do you care about enough to want to practice and study when we don't make you do it? Whatever that is, I'll hop on it and push you into it.
Let me ask this question before I get Glory. I already kind of know what Glow's at with this. What if there is nothing that they want to do that much?
That is my fear. You got to, and it's, I don't know, maybe I need to go see counseling. I don't know. You got to compete in something. I don't care what it is. Yes. I need you to compete. I need you to want to be the best at something. I don't care. It could be chess. It could be debate. It doesn't have to be. I mean, you can skip rock. You need to be the best rock skipper in Georgia.
Right.
Yeah. No. I feel you on that. You got to want to compete at something. Go ahead, Gloria.
Right. I'll touching on what Brian said. So Warren's sport is basketball, right? And so we've had this conversation about if our child shows interest in basketball and like what that would look like and what Warren's approach would be to that. Although we do want him to explore anything that he feels that he can really commit to. I think what's most important to me, with the understanding that there is a chance that he won't be interested in any one particular thing. But I think the thing that's most important to me is that and in that case, we would pick something. That's just the way I feel about it. You know what I mean? Because what's really important to me is that he learned the discipline of doing hard things and overcoming things, because and not always doing the things that come easy, but the things that come a little harder, because even if he isn't the best, pick a sport or pick some type, whatever the art form is, whether it be music, art, whatever, the discipline to be able to say, I've practiced at this thing and I've tried hard at this thing and I have a proficiency in this thing. I think that will show up in other ways in his life that'll be very useful to him, right? Whether it's like academics or work or anything like that. So he can play me if he wants to and not pick anything. We will be picking a thing. And I told something else I shared with Jameson as it relates to discipline, is something that I really admire how my husband is discipling Isaiah, is that they do the catechism every day. And so we are, Presbyterians. I'll say that. I guess we can still be counted. I think we're still on the log somewhere in our denomination.
Explain what a catechism is for people.
Right. Yeah.
I was going to ask.
Yeah. Catechism is just, it is a set of questions. It's like theological truths, right? And it's set up in question and answer form.
Affirmations about God and God's nature.
So we're using the shorter catechism. It has 150 questions. It's set up in a way that a child would be able to understand. But the value of that is not only him kind of understanding what we say that we believe from a theological perspective as like a 5-year-old, right? In his 5-year-old understanding. But then it's also the discipline of saying, we are working through these 150 questions and you will be able to recite the answers to all of these questions. This is a thing that we're doing that is a discipline that we're trying to instill in you, because we think it's important and it's just something that you should know. So it's not athletics, it's not music, but it's something where he's having to use his mind and kind of like understand things, right?
Yeah.
And so in that outside of sharing like our theological perspective, that's the value of it to me, is that like he understands what like a transgression is. As a 5-year-old, he can define to you what a covenant is. And that's just the discipline of learning things. It's like, this is a hard word and it has a lot of syllables and like, what is this? But he's learning, and so we'll find other ways to do that. He doesn't want to do it necessarily. I think he enjoys doing it now, but he wouldn't have picked that. And so that kind of goes back to the other thing where, what if they don't pick anything? We're going to pick something.
Yeah.
And just do that thing. We'll try the best that we can. Just to get you to start something and finish it, because there's value in learning how to do that.
Yeah, I know. I think that's deep, and I think for me, if people in the work I do as a software engineer, it takes a degree of tenacity. Like people, I think people are surprised at whatever level of skill they think I have. Right? I'll just say it that way, because I am a badass at this. This is what I'm really good at. What I do. And that tenacity comes from having worked with my father, having had him tell me, no, we're not going to quit the job until I say so. Like having somebody else define what success is, that's a very important thing in life, because not to get too deep, but hell, this is my show. We can do that. One of the problems I think we've got in society is that people are redefining what success is based on their own relativistic view, instead of adhering to what somebody else defines success as. And don't get me wrong, I think that there are times in our lives where we need to define success for ourselves, but there are times in our life too where we need to be able to affirm and rise to somebody else's standard of success. And because both of those things are important in our lives, because if you're going to have, going back to the KeKe Palmer conversation full circle, if you're going to have healthy, lasting relationships with people, you're going to have to meet their standard and definition of success from time to time. And if you're not going to do that, if you make success all about how you feel about what success is, then you're going to have problems. And I think that ultimately, that's why we're seeing so many challenges, I think, with children and people and adults in general. And there's huge sociological implications to that. But I think it's a beautiful thing to say, hey, you want your children to be good at something and to compete, and at the same time also have a definition of success that they're held to that is outside of their control. You know, like, hey, I got to do this, or I'm not going to meet the mark or the grade or whatever. You know, and so I try to challenge my nephews, because I don't have children, but I try to challenge my nephews. I say, hey, you know, you gotta be hungry. You know, and I tell kids all the time, I say, hey, figure out what kind of life you want now. Do you want what kind of house do you want? How many?
You feel like there's a lot of pressure, Jameson. Like, even and I know that at some point Isaiah's going to feel like a level of pressure. I completely understand that, and I think that, frankly, there's a little bit of value in that. But that being said, like, I'm thinking about, you see what Michelle said. They don't want it. Social media has made children feel that any and everything is attainable. I could even like expand on that and kind of say how there's a big, like, I think about TikTok. I don't have one, but I see all the cool TikToks because they make it to my social media platform of choice, Twitter. And it's like a whole bunch of people just communing around the same topic. Yeah. So, you know, it's like, I feel this way, I feel that way, and like kind of just in an echo chamber and like defining things the way that they want to define them, whether it's really a definition or not. So I think that only adds to pressure, because there's a whole bunch of viewpoints around parenting and what like parenting should be out there, and folks who feel like they weren't really parented well and they're suffering from trauma, and then people trying to take different approaches to parenting. Then you have people who are diagnosing themselves on Twitter, on TikTok as well.
And Twitter, it's on Twitter. Yeah, we did. I've done shows where we had an actual counselor therapist coming. Yeah. You know, man, check on your strong friends. Carry your ass to therapy. How about you do that? Like, go get, like, I'm sorry, I gotta get a good rant in. I'm rusty at this, but I'm gonna slip this rant in. I don't want to hear about your mental health conditions until you've been to a therapist, until you've taken actual dollars and gone to go get yourself looked at. I don't want to hear your self-diagnosis, and then now I'm beholden to some fake diagnosis that you've put on yourself. You don't know if you have PTSD. You don't know if you have associative anxiety disorder, whatever it is. I'm making up terms, but regardless, I'm doing the same thing they do on Twitter. I don't know any of this until you carry your ass to the doctor and get looked at. I'm sorry. So don't come.
They can afford therapy.
Whatever, man. They can afford to be on the internet telling me about how mentally distressed they are. You need to carry your ass to therapy. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm over these new age folk telling me how they feel inside, and they don't want to go talk to nobody else. Because once again, it's
that will add to the pressure. If you have, let's say whether they've self-diagnosed or not, the pressure that a child will feel to meet a particular standard that their parents have set or that society has set, right? Like we have to consider that too, right?
But I mean, being homeless, like housing yourself is pressure.
Guys, like no.
No. Housing yourself is pressure. Feeding yourself is pressure.
I'm you on the other side, because really, I'm just gonna control a lot of stuff. We're gonna do it the way I say do it, because you're like 5 and you don't know the difference. You don't know anything yet. But
you don't know pressure until you sit across the table and the check comes and you got to pick up the check. You don't know that pressure. That's pressure there too. When you don't know pressure until she tells you the only way you're gonna get a chance to talk to her if you don't get this Chanel bag. Come on, somebody. So we gotta understand pressure's everywhere. You can't run from pressure. You know what I'm saying? You can't run from pressure. So let me take it down a notch, because I got warmed up and we ain't doing this. We ain't gonna carry the show too much longer. I think it's important to affirm that there are times in our lives where we need to be beholden to somebody else's discipline. And that there's times in our life where it's important that we have to define success for ourselves. And so I think it's interesting. And it's a journey with kids and parents. I don't have any children, so I haven't had to actually implement any of these ideas that I have, but it's just a thought process. And I'm always interested to see how parents like yourselves are navigating that conversation, because we're seeing Tiger do it, but Tiger has literally $1 billion enterprise and billions of dollars that are tied to this parenting moment here. And I think that we're going to see it manifest itself in Charlie, you know, eventually becoming a pro golfer and signing with Nike and becoming a part of the Tiger Woods brand. And don't let him actually be good. Like don't let him actually
be good. Yeah, like we don't.
He's gonna be good.
He's gonna be good. Tiger Woods once said, "Winning solves everything," which is also how I know that Charlie is getting.
He's gonna be perfectly toxic.
Look, and that's another thing. People. I don't think people understand, going back to, as we round this conversation up as we head home, y'all, I don't think people realize how much, and first of all, let me thank the audience, man. Y'all came back out here. We done been, I've been off of this thing for months. What y'all not gonna do is make me fall back in love with podcasting. That's what y'all not gonna do.
Oh, yes, we are.
Be back for a stream or two.
Because I'm trying to really retire. I'm not trying to do like Anita Baker did. And but shout out to that concert though, because that's where me and that was the first day to meet with me and my significant other. So, you know, our second first date, if that makes sense. So, yeah. So yeah. And I was, you know, anyway, I'm reminiscing, and y'all don't know pressure. You got to buy them Anita Baker tickets. Y'all don't know pressure. Y'all don't know pressure. And that show was sold out. So I had to buy those tickets off the resale market. You know, y'all don't hear what I'm saying. But talking about pressure, running from pressure. But
a bargain.
Look. Been paying ever since.
That's what it is.
Been paying ever since.
And her.
Yes. Talking about pressure. You don't know pressure. But no, man, in all seriousness, thank y'all for coming back out, man, hanging out with us tonight, man. Yeah, thank y'all for hanging out with us tonight and rocking with us. I lost my train of thought because I got so giddy over seeing everybody come through and hang out. But I think that ultimately Tiger is showing us what this is going to look like. I think Charlie's showing us what this is looking like in the public. And it's going to be interesting how all this plays out, because at the end of the day, there's real dollars here attached to Tiger. There's real dollars attached to the narrative of the son chasing the legacy or continuing the legacy of Tiger. And I can't wait to see it play out. I cannot wait to see it play out. So.
Same. I mean, Tiger's an international brand, to your point. Like, this is, it's a little bit bigger. And that's how I, again, taking it back to the beginning, that's how I know he's not softballing him behind the scenes. He can't be.
He can't.
There's too much at stake.
Look, I got questions. First off, Teresa Michelle. First off, don't do me like this, because I don't want to be on here talking that talk tonight.
She doesn't do coffee days.
Look, that's a waste of my time. I'm not putting on no blazer.
Wait, hold on, time out. Where we start shaming coffee in lunch dates?
Excuse me, thank you, Brian.
What?
I think coffee dates are fine.
Look, I'm not.
Monique gonna pick on me later because I said
no. We have not.
Shout out to KB, kite days.
Dates. Shout out to funnel cake dates and snow cones. No, I am not wasting a blazer and jeans evening.
Not the blazer and jeans combo.
I'm not doing that.
Do that.
I'm not wearing I might date white women blazers to go get no coffee. Sorry.
As he calls it.
Yes, that's what she called it. I'm not doing that to go get no coffee. I said first date, as in, like, that's not the first time I've been out with that person. So if you connect the dots there logically, you'll understand kind of how that works. So, so.
I won't tell you to give us, I won't do that.
Yeah, we having fun. We down to the last 7 minutes. What's good?
No, for real.
Okay, I'm with you. Let's move on. That's what, when people really know you.
I'm interested now.
No, when people really know you, you can't ask. You can't go too deep down that rabbit hole, because they'll have you bring out some stuff that you be just like, I did not plan on talking about this on the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as soon as I said it, I was like, no, really.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Speaking of being blindsided, how do we feel about Michael Orr? See, look, mid-season form, transitions and segues. How do we feel about Michael Orr, the former football player now, who apparently got finessed by these white folk out in who wanted him to go to Ole Miss? Was it the Toolies or the Tullies, or allegedly
the Tuies?
The Tuies. They allegedly finessed him into signing away millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars from his life story that they took and sold to Hollywood as a movie. And
each of their children, I think, got $225,000 plus a percentage of the proceeds from the movie. So that's what's really ugly, is that he didn't get anything from the movie, but they made sure their own kids, their biological children, he thought he was in the family.
Yeah.
Let him tell it. He thought he was in the family.
Yeah.
I don't think we're getting the whole story. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think there's more to the story. I really do.
Something different. Yeah. Look, what are we missing?
And I have to go back and find it, but there was a There was a rebuttal by kind of the white fake lawyer, like we always have the black Twitter fake lawyers, that went through and said that something like the conservatorship was, they had to do that because the NCAA was saying they were spending too much time with him and with him not being a part of the family. So there had to be something done to account for the fact that he's basically living with them. Again, that's what I think this needs to be dug into more from both sides, because the family was already rich. The family was already millionaires from owning a bunch of Taco Bells and other restaurants. Mm-hmm. So although I do think they probably did have a capitalistic view, I don't think that, and I do think the movie was BS because they made him look stupid. And that kid, he wasn't a dumb guy.
Yeah. But yeah, I do need to watch it.
I think there's more.
Yeah.
No, don't watch it. Keep it on the list, Glo. Keep it on the list of movies you refuse to watch.
No, but I told you, Jameson,
you don't have to watch it.
This is where you're going to actually end up coming back, because one day I truly am going to watch every movie on my never watch list, and I need somebody to chop it up with, and I think that's going to be you. So
okay.
I'm just saying,
I'm with that. Yeah.
I'll do my I have thoughts unnamed stream, and you can hop on and help me talk about these terrible movies. But yeah, I haven't heard anyone say that, Brian. I automatically just want to put him in the ground because I saw the trailer, did not like the trailer. I was like, this is going to be terrible. Yeah. And then, thinking about someone, the way that they tell it, or the way that he's explaining it, is that he was led to believe that if he signed it, that he would legally be a part of their family. So he is alleging that he was taken advantage of in that way. I feel sympathy for that, or empathy, I should say, because that's real nasty. And then for him to not get any money off the movie, I don't know. So even if there is something that was legitimate about the conservatorship, how do you make sense, or how did they justify their children getting money off the movie, but him not getting money off the movie? Because somebody had to strike that deal.
Yeah. And I think that's the part of it, right? It's like, and if there's anything people can learn from listening to these conversations, because there's very few things that you can learn from listening to this show. Another reason why I'm retiring from the podcasting game. You got to be careful about signing stuff. You just got to be careful about signing stuff. Like, you got to get your own lawyer. And I know everybody's going to say, I hear it now. We talk about pressure, right? I hear it now. Like, he was young, Jameson. He was in college and he didn't have a lot of money and he was depending on, I hear you. But he trusted him. I get it. But you just before you sign stuff, especially when you've got the potential to make millions of dollars, just be careful, because everybody who claims they love you don't always have your best interest in heart. And so you just got to be careful before you sign stuff, man. But speaking of best interest at heart, thank y'all. Thank you to my guests tonight, Glo, Brian. Thank you guys so much. Y'all have anything y'all want to plug or shout out real quick? Any plugs? Anything y'all want to shout out real quick? All right. Okay. Cool. And
I will. Yeah.
If
you're Brian. In Atlanta and you need a photographer, please check me out at Life at 35mm Photography for your events, weddings, family pictures, bar mitzvahs, anything you need. Hey, you want to make some content? Call me. Yeah, man. He's got a radio voice too. You hear that? Y'all hear that radio voice? Y'all hear that commercial that he dropped there real quick? Appreciate you, Brian, for mentioning that. Yeah, your content's dope, man. I love watching your stuff, man, on YouTube, trying to understand, how you captured what you captured and the filters and the lighting and all that stuff. It's just really, even not like how you got this this rig set up. You can tell clearly that you know what you're doing, because your picture's crystal clear. Shout out to Glo. Thank you so much for making time for this. Especially with everything that we all got going on as adults. But man, let me clap it up one more time for our audience, man. They showed back up. This was so wild, man. They showed back up, man. Oh man, we still got to finish up all these final episodes before football season, because that's when they're gonna stop watching. They ain't gonna be back there.
You can't win against football.
No, nobody wins against football. Yeah, man. For people who don't know, man, this is the Swan. Was it the Swan Song? Set of episodes that I'm doing. I am retiring from podcasting. I've gotten a number of things in life that have changed over the years. I'm not gonna get into all of that right now, because we'll say that for the very final show. But yeah, man, if you guys enjoy this, you know, coming back to the next one, we got another one probably planned for next week or something like that. So we're gonna fire up some stuff, and I'm gonna set up some more guests and have people come back through. But I can't do nothing but thank you guys again for your time. And man, Teresa Michelle says she wants to plug her OnlyFans. Go ahead and drop that link.
Drop the link.
KimchiFeet.com. You know,
Jameson.
KimchiandFeet.com. OnlyFans.com/KimchiFeet.
No, sir. Absolutely not.
Horrible, man.
Michelle, do not let him.
Horrible. When she gets that BBL on deck, come on, man. It's gonna be that's the next step. You get the BBL, you get the Instagram following, and then you get the OnlyFans. That's the progression of the rollout. And then you become a real estate agent. Oh my
there
goodness.
It is.
That's the next one.
I co-sign that, Brian.
Look, Brian encourages my toxicity. He does, or at least my truth as I tell it, because I'm just telling the truth. You know, y'all out here buying property from women with tattoos on their feet. You need to stop that.
There's something wrong with tattoos on their feet? Now, I don't have any tattoos, but I'm learning things. See, this is what what's the list of things that women can't have that are signs of
Jameson.
back up, but you guys.
They selling houses in furry slippers.
They selling
houses
puffy flurry slippers. Big puffy flurry furry slippers. They got that. They got the Cardi B thigh tattoo running down to their knee, talking about this the house that I'm selling. It's horrible. It is. It is the nastiest. I blame Instagram for a window into all of this craziness that's going on out here.
This real estate agent pipeline.
Oh my goodness, man. That is
women. I'm trying to defend us. You see, I'm outnumbered in here. I don't have any, but ladies can have tattoos if they want them. Come on now.
Look, I'm just saying, don't be out here buying property from women with stripper tattoos. That's all I'm saying. Don't be out here buying property from women with stripper tattoos. You be like, how much is the property tax in the area? It ain't that much. Now, glow. That was the point that I was going to get to, but he made it. The issue is not the tattoos, the fact they know nothing about real estate. That's the point.
Okay. I have a counter. How did they get their license if they don't know anything?
You got to understand. You got to understand the hustle. They ain't actually real estate agents. They're marketers. So they have the Instagram following. They got the fat ass and the BBL, and they show the house. They show the house. They don't actually do the real estate transaction. So you looking at
broker, people in the background that do all the heavy lifting.
Exactly. They're just another layer that has been created because of BBLs and Instagram and all this stuff. So yeah, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, and apparently buying trucks is another thing too that they're doing. Strippers are taking that stripper money and buying like fleets of trucks. Yeah. Yeah. That one is actually more interesting to me, but
not right now. Like the trucking industry is kind of like slowed down a little bit, right? No, am I wrong?
No, there's people still flipping that stripper money into like trucking. Yeah. So
you are so well versed in these things. This knowledge.
It's because
the Explore page on Instagram.
The algorithm, bro. The algorithm be algorithming. So, oh my goodness, man, I gotta stop. Y'all have been great. Thank you guys for letting me hold y'all hostage for nearly an hour and a half here. Thank you for your patience with us tonight, guys. And I gotta play some music here, man. I gotta play us some music here on the way out. Brian, what's something I should throw on, man, to play, man?
I mean, if we're gonna go out, we gotta play the terrorist single. We gotta bring it on back to the beginning.
I like that. I like
a full circle moment.
Yes. Let me give us a little bit of volume here. Y'all have been great, man. I'm gonna kill this off on. I can't do whatever. YouTube, you can have this kind. You can have them. You can give Ushers these few pennies on whatever y'all gonna do with this video. Let me hit play here. Hey, man. This has been one of the final episodes of Hashtag the Group Chat, man. I'm a nearly retired podcaster, Jameson, and I got my two guest co-hosts hanging out with us, and we're wrapping this thing up, man.
Somebody say that your boyfriend's looking for me. Maybe it is a vibe. I don't know.
I'm just saying, look at your shoulders, Glow. Look at your shoulders. Your shoulders tell the story,
You better stay out of Vegas.
Look. Man, shout out to everybody, all these hardworking men sending their wives to Vegas. We didn't get to it, man.
She was going to Vegas. Now, don't do that.
I didn't get a chance to get to it, man. I wanted to talk about girl trips. What? Look. I'm just saying. I want to talk about girls trips. I didn't get to it. Tonight. But we gonna.
If you bring that topic up in one of these final episodes,
Jamaica
right there.
Essence Festival.
That's it. Jamaica Essence Festival. I just want to know how all that white river clay got on them butt cheeks. That's what I want to know. Who put all that white river clay on that?
You have been on Twitter
Sebastian.
for real, because that has been a big part of the discourse in the last week, sir.
Who put that clay back there in the crack of your ass? Who did that?
Nigel Livingston.
Wagwan.
That was actually pretty good. I'm gonna get at this.
Wagwan.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good.
Oh my goodness, man. They all find their way to that one little spot on the river, and the same guy. He's burning your cheeks to me. Me all right. Bring your cheeks to me. Come here, Gala. You need to, and can I ask a real question? Does the clay keep the mosquitoes off? Like, what's the clay for?
I don't know. Never experienced. I have no idea.
Your man can't even touch you.
Research it.
Your man can't even touch you without consent, and y'all just flying all the way down to Jamaica and let some random.
We own it.
And let some random guy let some guy rub random river clay on you, promising to keep mosquitoes off. You know that they ain't doing nothing. Oh, let me hush.
Next time you do this, you can have 2 women on here.
I'm down.
I would love to get somebody who's been to Jamaica to further explain this, because I wouldn't do the
the last
same thing.
girls trip I went on was to Jamaica.
Look, I didn't see the pictures of y'all on them rafts. If I had seen them raft pictures, that would have been hilarious.
We did not do that.
So here's a wild theory: are the Jamaica and Essence trips like the women's version of Passport Bros?
Look, see.
Someone did draw the comparison of the Jamaica trip, like what was going on there, to like the Passport Bros. Now Essence Fest, what is that like?
That's where well, I shouldn't say that.
No, I'm saying what is the comparison?
That's just that's just a destination, a common destination for a lot of women.
But what is the men equivalent of the Essence Fest that women go to for girls trips?
See, that's the thing. I don't think, and Brian, maybe from your experience you can tell me, but I don't really think men have an equivalent. I mean, men kind of do ad hoc, maybe do some ad hoc traveling with each other, but I haven't seen, not in my friend circle. I haven't seen hey, we're gonna go to. Nah, we ain't gonna do that now. Come on, Joe. That's a little too much.
Okay.
There's some destinations that have been killed that if they come up in conversation, I know I ain't even trying to go. There's some islands and places.
Carnival, maybe Carnival.
I'll pass on it. Huh?
Yeah, maybe Carnival. That's ours. That's our trip, going to Carnival. I just went there.
Oh yeah, I'm not going.
women be like, I'm like 1% Caribbean, so I got to go to the Carnival and be having the feathers on me.
What about Vegas trips?
Yes.
Trips to Miami.
Yeah, that's another one. That Miami came up a couple years ago where this guy apparently was trying to finesse somebody on the beach. So, we go to the DR. That's where we go. Okay, I don't know, man.
That location has been burned. Yes.
Okay, so you have had that put on the table as a location, and you're just like, yeah, no.
Nah, man.
Nah, I can't do it.
Nah. Okay.
Nah, I don't trust. Now
this is a couple strip.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. That's a whole other thing too. Like. Yeah, I think men, you just got to be careful because some of your homeboys don't be as married as you be. They don't be as married as you be. They do not be as married as you be.
Okay.
They be up there fighting Nigel to put the fake clay on women. Like, hey, Nigel got away. Like, wait a minute, bro. You don't need no help. You don't need no help. Oh my goodness, man. Oh man, I took my ring off because I didn't want to lose it in the river. Like, I bet you did. I spread my toxicity around, y'all. Hey man, if y'all keep on watching, we're gonna keep on talking. But I got to go and clean this house up, get this house ready for the weekend, man. So.
Oh well. Okay.
Yeah, these people, you know, they still watching this nonsense. How is it when I start spewing toxicity, folks start watching? You know.
Don't act brand new.
Nah,
don't act brand new.
All right, well, let's do this. Y'all got 9 more minutes. Let's hang out for 9 more minutes while this music's playing in the background. This is the fake turn down. You remember we used to do turn down.
I remember the turn down. Yeah. Now, are you gonna be able to fade this to black, or you don't have all your equipment?
Oh no, I can fade this to black. But yeah, man, it's just funny, man. It's just like it's a meme at this point, though. Like all this stuff that you see on everybody. Because what happens is, whoever is the girl who figures out, you know, the first picture, it spreads like wildfire across the internet. Like, okay, well now everybody has to go get that picture. You know, it's like Santorini over in Greece. It's like, it's just, you know, it's all white and, you know, it looks really beautiful and photogenic and all that. So everybody got to go to Santorini now so they can get that one picture so they can say they've been there, you know. So, yeah, man.
That's a result of Instagram, though. There's so much of that where it's literally just for the photo.
Yeah. Well, some of that stuff is bad too, like, you know, because it can be misleading. Because it seems like, oh yeah, this is dope, but it ain't dope. It's just marketing, you know. So you can go to like some restaurants, you know, I do the whole food thing too. Shout out to #SmallBites. But yeah, people will post like certain restaurants and stuff, and they be like, oh yeah, this is dope, and it's like, nah. You know, speaking of things I stay away from, I'll give y'all this free dining tip. Man, stay away from places that have free hookah or have discount hookah. They got a publicly posted dress code, and they serve lamb chops. Like, stay away from those. If you see them three things,
that's a combo.
Like, you see hookah, lamb chops,
dress code.
Yes, and lamb chops. Lamb chops. Stay away from that place.
Combination.
Just don't go. Don't go.
Abort mission.
I'm sorry. It's just not the vibe. I was down in the city recently at this concert, the George Clinton P-Funk concert, and apartment concert. And I ain't gonna say where I went, but if you go on my timeline, you can see where I was at. Okay. I think you can see where I was at. Man, that first off, the plates weren't clean. I was like, bruh, like why these plates look like this? Like you, and that's what I should have known. I should have known then. I was like, we in trouble. But food wasn't bad. It just was like, man, what is? It just.
I mean, there are certain places you might not want to eat. Now, I've heard that. It sounds like strip clubs because I don't think you should be eating at strip clubs. You probably don't need to eat anywhere that sells hookah. Like it's certain things where you don't eat at cigar bars too tough. Like it's you know,
man, it's true there for the situations where you know they're doing it legally because they have to do like a 51-49 split on the alcohol. Like if they're serving alcohol, they gotta sell food.
Yeah.
So it's just like
this place was horrible.
Like when.
Go ahead, man.
This is the deep cut, like when Legends used to sell pizza.
That's it.
Club Legends pizza was these pizza in the microwave.
Man, we were there, and the waiter, he fixed his face and said, "Hey, man, would you like bottled water or would you like tap?" And I said, "Nah, man, we have bottled water. You know, it's cool. You know, and don't get me wrong, I'm not one of these ordering bottled water people when I'm out. I'm good with tap." Because I want to spend my money on the actual food and not just this overpriced bottle of water. But you know, I was like, nah. Because once I saw the plating, I was like, yeah, man, we need to get some bottled water.
Like I need something with a seal, bro. Like I can't. We can't just pour it in the cup. We don't know what's going on.
Exactly, man. Why did they bring out their own private label bottled water? It had the name of the restaurant on the bottle. That was it. That's what they sold us. They sold me. They told me that was $3. This little like 8 ounces of their own private label water. I was like, I can't even get Aquafina in this. I can't get no Dasani. Like I gotta you finessing me on that level.
You gotta have Dasani though.
Look, I'm just saying.
Yo, he's setting the bar low.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. They was finessing, man. Yeah, Michelle, the plates weren't clean, fam. The plates were not clean. Hey, man, how we done got the numbers are going up? How y'all?
Look, Magic City. Okay, so she's talking about Magic City and some good wings. Miss Kimberly's talking about that.
Yeah. When they gonna have that?
I've heard that, but I still won't do it.
Yeah, I just
I don't want no cheeks on wings.
No booty cheeks near my wings, right?
I just remember when that was a thing when women rebranded the strip club as their place to hang out. Like I just that tickled me. It's like they got good food. I'm like, that's not just what's going on here. This ain't just a restaurant. Like you, they got good food. Oh man, that was like, I'll tell you, man. There's been a lot of nasty rebrands out here. We gonna talk about it one day. We ain't gonna talk about it right now, but like us trying to classify strippers as athletes, like that was a nasty rebrand. Like they like gymnasts. They're so athletic.
Hold on. I'm sorry.
Because
hold on.
I'm not saying they don't do athletic things.
Shout out to the.
Okay, thank you. Because to drop 20 feet on the pole and then not kill yourself.
Ab work. Do you understand how strong your core must be?
See, here we go. Talking about core strength and all that. Like, man, she is busting. She is selling herself to random men.
Glow,
That's what she's doing.
What's funny is I randomly landed on a pole dancing competition. It was nothing but skinny white men.
Oh,
it was no black women in it.
Well, that was a thing. That was a thing for a while too, when women were going to them pole dancing classes. You know what I'm saying? That was a whole thing too.
Like,
that was a whole vibe. Because
I just feel like you're touching on things, and I'm like, what does he do? Because I have been one of those.
See, I didn't know. It's always
like, wait a minute, hold up, I mean, you know, it is what it is.
No judgment. I'm just saying.
But you know what? I think that's where I gained an appreciation, because when I tell you I couldn't do some of this stuff, and I got sick.
You say they're not athletes.
See, here we go.
I can't heal myself up.
Yeah.
Do you understand what you got to be able to pull yourself up? But like, that's real athleticism.
I'm just saying, like we both things can be true, but we need to not try to rebrand stripping. Like, that's all I say. Just don't rebrand stripping, man.
Thank you, Kimberly and Teresa McDonald. Thank you.
Look, man, Verlin Lester says pole dancing classes are fun. You know, if I were more toxic, I would say much more here, but I'm gonna just move off of that, because that's a very toxic place.
I mean, that's but a rebrand, okay. And what you call a rebrand, you know, people are exploring. They're trying new things.
Child.
So what it was is, this is my truth on it.
Okay.
You had your top girls from Magic City and other clubs that were a little too old to keep dancing, but they had all these skills. You got to do something with it. So you open up the pole dancing studios. You teach regular women how to pole dance, lap dance, any other type of skills you happen to learn in your 20 years in Magic City. And now you're making legal money.
Not 20 years.
Oh, my goodness.
Second chapter careers, you know what I'm saying? That's important.
Yeah. Look,
it's growth.
We ain't gonna hate. I just laugh to myself these days. That's another reason why I got to retire from the podcasting game, because that third eye as a podcast to be wide open, and I just be like I'd be trying to close it. I'd be like, no, I don't need to have a microphone and talk about these things. I do not need to do that. Y'all, it's just a lot. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. But yeah, man, we had a good show tonight, y'all, man. I appreciate these jokes. Yes, Kimberly. Stripping is legal. but the things they ask you to do if you pay them another $50 are not legal.
Oh wow.
Again,
I
don't know if you've heard this or if you're speaking from a place of experience. We keep running into that.
This is from a place of experience. This was that I was down in Jacksonville. And that
lady in the champagne room?
No, the Silver Fox. That lady, I ain't gonna say who. I don't even know her name, but she came up to me and she whispered in my ear. If I was willing to give her the money, I could have got a lot of what I wanted. You know. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Y'all, this is
order number 3.
Yeah, look. Y'all, we got to go because this call about to drop. Y'all be good, fam. Appreciate y'all again tonight. Everybody who's watching, thank y'all so much. Until the next one, be good.
Bye. To the gulag. Nigga can't trap me to go get a new job. Young nigga fucked up, still you call with a screwdriver. Taking shit extra, what you gonna do about it?